So I decided, to go undrafted. I could have gotten picked up from a lot of teams in the second round. A lot of teams really wanted me in the second round with their later picks, but none of them could really match the deal that Denver came with me before the draft even started. So I decided to go undrafted, and just have a spot with Denver for my first 2 years, and yeah, that was just how it went. I knew I was very realistic going into the draft. I knew what my talent was. I knew what I did in college, but at the same time, I understand the business of this league, of the NBA, and just um, nowadays it seems like they go off of potential, not necessarily production.
Welcome back to the Role Player Podcast. Once again, little week hiatus just to get everything right. I'm back again with my co-host, the esteemed Stanford gentleman, the co-founder and CEO, as we like to say over here. He don't like that, but we saying it over here. Swish Cultures, and 11-year overseas vet. We got the one and only Anthony Goods. What's up, man? What's going on? You in Belgrade over there, right?
Yeah, man, I'm in Belgrade, man. Just Euro living. Cut my own hair again. I'm back cutting my own joint now that I'm living overseas.
Yeah.
My lineup looking straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we could tell you cutting your own shit again. We could tell.
No. Y'all can't tell. It
is very evident. I got my brush right here. I've been on the move, man. I've been on the move, so I got to stay as clean as I can. I'll probably be fly again next episode, but we got a very distinguished guest today, man. We got a consensus first team All-American in 2020, consensus second team All-American in 2019. That's 2 times. You don't hear that a lot. The NCAA season scoring leader in 2020, the Big East Player of the Year in 2019, and 2-time first team All Big East out of, I guess we got to show love to the University of Marquette, man. That pains me. I know the Badgers, we can't normally do it, but we'll show Marquette love, man. We also spent the last 2 seasons with the Denver Nuggets on a 2-way deal. Did his thing after going undrafted, worked his way. We got the one and only Markus Howard, man. What's good with you? What's going on? Thanks for joining us.
What's good, fellas? Appreciate you guys having me, man. Looking forward to just chopping it up with y'all, so appreciate y'all.
Hey, no doubt, man, no doubt. We gonna keep it clean. Like I said, normally us back, for those that don't know, that Wisconsin-Marquette rivalry is a good one. Probably one of the most underrated rivalries, to be real with you, in college basketball. I think. I don't know what you think.
A lot of heavy hitters from both sides, man. So for sure,
man, definitely.
Sure.
But moving right into it, man. As we mentioned, you spent the last 2 years with the Nuggets. Went undrafted. So first of all, kudos. That's a shout out to go undrafted and spend your first 2 years in the league. You did your thing. Talk about that draft night and being a Big East Player of the Year, 2-time All-American. What was your thought process, or what was your expectations on draft night for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, my draft year was a weird year. That was the COVID year. So before even the draft happened, all the tournaments got canceled. I was actually getting ready to play. We were getting ready to play Seton Hall in the Big East tournament, and our coach told us, the season was done, no NCAA tournament. So my mindset right away, after like a week, went straight into getting ready for the draft. But that draft process, usually it's about 3 months at most. This process was 9 months. It was from April to October. So I mean, it was a long process. So I mean, just every day training, preparing, not knowing when the draft was going to happen. It kept getting pushed back. So it was, just a long process. So going into the draft, man, it was just draining. But I knew with what I did in college, I had every accolade you could have in college, to where I did enough to where I could get drafted. I knew where I would most likely fall in the draft. Personally, I just know how late first, second round picks, how it is contractually. A lot of that money isn't guaranteed. Your contract, it's really on a non-guaranteed base. And I was fortunate, Denver called me about a week before the draft, and they said if I decided to go undrafted, that they would have a 2-way spot for me, to where all my money would be guaranteed. So when the draft happened, I kind of had an idea of what was going to happen. My management at the time, if something else did occur to where a team did want to draft me, I mean, I had, I had an opportunity to get picked anywhere from 35 to 60. Every team, called and, would say, do you want to take the deal? But none of the money was guaranteed, so I just wasn't going to take the deal. Just being based off of that, I wanted to be there my first year. I had a lot of security, but so I decided, to go undrafted. I could have gotten picked up from a lot of teams in the second round. A lot of teams really wanted me in the second round with their later picks, but none of them could really match the deal that Denver came with me before the draft even started. So I decided to go undrafted, and just have a spot with Denver for my first 2 years, and that was just how it went. I knew I was very realistic going into the draft. I knew what my talent was. I knew what I did in college, but at the same time, I understand the business of this league, of the NBA, and just nowadays it seems like they go off potential, not necessarily production. So I just had to roll with it. Just couldn't really complain about it. Just had to go in, work, and do what I had to do. So that was kind of my mindset going into the draft.
Yo, man, I think that, one of the things that I noticed, and obviously because, doing Swish cultures, I have to stay a little more in tune than I like to, but usually when you play overseas, you don't even be watching like college basketball. But I remember what you was doing that season was like so loud. It was crazy. And like, even going back to like your last 5 games, like you had 38, 30, 37, 31, and 30. Like, what do you think? Do you think it would have been different had COVID not happened and had you been able to have like a few more games? I mean, because a 5-game stretch of 30 points. Obviously, when you have 9 months to forget about that, like it's different. Whereas like if it's COVID and it's 2 months later,
For sure.
I feel like you have a little more momentum.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like the tournament could have definitely done some things for me, but at the same time, I don't even like to really talk about myself or even bring back old stuff. But if you just look at my track record, man, just with what I was able to do in college, and a lot of people didn't think I would do what I did, and people would always say, oh, he did it in high school, can it translate to college? Oh, he was a great scorer in high school, can he score in college? Oh, he's a great college scorer, can you do it at the next level? Every level I've been at, it's just, I've done it, and there were a lot of things I did in college that, haven't been done in 30, 40 years. Like the last person that even compared to some of the stuff I did scoring-wise was Pete Maravich, which was 40 years ago. So I could definitely preach my case a lot about, why I feel that,
Don't be humble on here. Don't be humble on
Yeah,
here.
don't
be humble on here.
Your shit. Talk your shit.
Like at the end of the day, man, I've never been a talker. I've never been one to talk smack because for one, I'm not good at it, so I just don't. It's just for me, it's like I always say, let my play do the talking, but people are quick to forget, what I really did in college, and I'm not saying like I'm hanging my hat on what I did in college because I'm always trying to, prove the now, but nobody did what I did, but people look at my size as, it's a question mark. All I got to say to that is put me on the court against anybody. I'll make you a believer. That's always been my attitude. That's always been, my belief is, you put me in front of anybody, I'll make you a believer. But, a lot of people aren't going to take that chance on a 5'11" guy who you don't know if he can necessarily do it. I know I can, but, I'd rather show you than tell you.
That's valid. That's 100% valid. You in that what you like 3 years out of school now. We a little bit older, where it's like people done forgot, so we gotta take the chance to remind folks. Like you still in that part where where people do remember. But I would tell you, shit, don't ever let people forget, because what you did was loud. It was loud. Like you, in my opinion, you in that Jimmer realm for what he was doing, the way you was scoring the basketball. It might have not got as much love, but it deserved that much love. So you should definitely talk your shit, man, for real.
I appreciate it, man. It's just I just look back on when was the last time someone scored 50 in college. I did it sophomore, junior, and senior year. Point blank.
So 3 times.
No,
that's fact.
You was keeping Swish cultures afloat for a little bit, man. You know what I mean?
Make
your job real easy. We just wake up. Marcus got off. All right, we good.
Y'all was doing just fine.
You kept us afloat, man.
That was good,
man. hey, but I guess and you talked about you don't want to talk about old stuff and whatever, showing and not tell you. But I guess going through it at the time, what were some of the mental hurdles or mental struggles of knowing you're doing historic things but still not quite getting, like, you should be a first rounder. You doing that, you should be a first rounder in my opinion. Like, I don't give a damn how big you are, where you done it.
Sure.
You should be a first rounder. So what were some of those mental hurdles for you going through that?
It was tough, man, because, you want to definitely get the respect you feel you've earned and deserve. But, for me, I think just being a man of faith, just honestly praying about it and constantly just knowing that I'm not necessarily controlled with things, God is. And at the end of the day, like, everything that I've been able to control, I've done to the best of my ability. So I can't. It's easier said than done. You're human. You're gonna get frustrated. Like, I'll get so frustrated, seeing guys, either get picked or getting a little bit more attention per se than me, knowing I've done way more than them in college. If you're going from college to the NBA, but they're basing it off potential. It is frustrating, but at the same time, man, I just really try to look in a perspective to where, all the things, like I said, that I can do, I'm controlling. At the end of the day, like, that's all I can really hang my hat on. I'm going to work tirelessly. I'm going to do everything in my power to be the best basketball player I can be. But, if someone necessarily doesn't see that in the organization, like, that's not something I need to really worry myself about. And I struggled with that for a long time, a very long time. But like you said, not forgetting, like, I didn't necessarily ever really forget who I was as a player. Like, my dad and my brothers would always remind me in a great way to be like, you know what, like, know who you are, like, know what you've done, because that's who you are as a player. And a lot of players, once they get to that next level, they kind of get put in a box. And coaches or organizations try to limit them in a way to what they really can do. Like, a lot of players are totally different players from when they were in college to when they were in the NBA. Like me, at the next level, man, like, being a professional, like, what I did in college should be how I am at the pro level, because at my size, like, I have to be able to do something that loud. So if I'm a scorer, man, I have to be a loud scorer, because at my size, I'm not going to have many more opportunities than guys bigger than me. So I have to be a specialist in what I do, and what I do is put the ball in the basket. So, just that mindset of just trying, like you said, not forgetting who I am, man. That was just a big thing going into that whole draft process, and especially my 2 years in Denver. Just not playing, but when I did play, I showed what I can do, but still just not getting, what I felt I deserved. So it's just continue to still have that chip on my shoulder that I've always had my entire career.
Hey, did you ever, like, flirt with changing your game? Because I know we had Shane Larkin on here, and he was saying when he was in the NBA, like, he came out as a scorer, but then he tried to be more of like a true point, and he wasn't true to himself. Like, did you ever flirt with that idea, or you just like, you know what, I'm gonna just do what I do?
A little bit, but a guy that really, like, painted the picture in my head of, like, you do something very needed in this league at a high level and to stick with it, were Michael Porter and Austin Rivers. Like, those were two guys that, they told me all the time, like, what you do is very valued in this league. Like, don't change it. You can obviously get better in other areas, but from a basis standpoint, like, I feel with how long I've done it, with how hard I work at it, different ways I'm able to put the ball in the basket, and just my variety of with it being at my size, like, I can't really see my game really shifting. Like, I can definitely get better in different areas about making me a little bit more unpredictable in what I'm doing. But in terms of my base of what I do, I especially my 2 years in Denver, like, I didn't really feel like I tried to change that too much, and I think personnel wise, they kind of understood that too. The opportunities just might not have been there, but, like, I felt it was pretty well known, like, what I was there to do. And, from here on out in my career, that's what I'm going to really focus on. But I'm going to still get better in other areas. But my main focus is being able to just do what I do, and that's, put the ball in the basket in different ways.
Yeah, I got another question real quick. Like, I feel like the knock on a lot of small players coming out is how are they going to deal with the length and, the speed of the game, especially at the NBA level.
Yeah.
No matter how well you're scoring the ball. How is that transition for you in regards to dealing with the length and the speed?
It's funny just because every level I've been at, man, like, that's always been something like a coach or, someone in, a higher management position has thought or have asked me. But I just said, like, tape doesn't lie. Like, straight up. Like if you really want my answer, go look at the tape. because every level it's been, the same thing. There's been the question raised, and I felt I've answered it, and it's an adjustment at first, but I mean, once you get a feel for it, like I would say my first year, it was a little bit like being a freshman in college, but after I got a feel for it, man, you kind of understand where to pick your spots. And that's what I learned in my second year. I felt my second year in the NBA was head and shoulders better than with my first year. And that's saying a lot just because I didn't really have much to show for it. But I can guarantee everyone in that locker room will vouch that, like vouch for what I can do. And I think for me, it's just honestly just every year of maturation with me in basketball, I've learned different ways to either get my shot off or to honestly pick my spots, change my pace. I mean, there's a lot of different things I think as a player like that I'm continuing to grow on. And like for me, I'm not even close to where I'm gonna be as a player. Like I just turned 23. Like I'm just scratching the surface of what I'm gonna become, and that's what I'm excited about. And personally, that's what I think teams who view highly of me should think as well. Like I'm just getting started. Like I'm still trying to figure out, the nuances of how to really play off a field and kind of really try to control a game in that aspect with momentum. So I just think at each and every level, I'm just continuing to grow because I've always been a sponge when it comes to just learning, feeling the game. So, yeah, man, I'm just scratching the surface. Like I truly feel that with my game. Like I feel very solid with where I'm at now, but like I still know there's so much more that I'm gonna continue to grow and develop.
One thing about watching you play, when I watched even in college, I thought you was like 6'4" the first time I watched you play, and
I would.
Yeah, but I think you have that natural ability as a scorer. People say about Kyrie, he plays like 6'8" a lot, and to me, you do play as a scorer bigger than you are. It looks like you're bigger than you are. So is that something you work on? Is it something that is that just a feel, or is there certain things you do every day to work on that?
A little bit of both. I mean, honestly, like for me, just with going into college, I mean, in high school, I always kind of had a knack for scoring, but college, I kind of learned how to score. And that's a big credit to my coach, Steve Wojciechowski. Like, I'll never forget, like, after my sophomore year when I had 52, he called me in his office and he said, like, I want you to just be you. Like, I saw what you can do now. I didn't know then really what you could do, but now I'm seeing it. And he gave me the green light. He gave me so much freedom to just be who I was and just try to, really develop into a scorer in that way. And, for me, like being my size, I had no choice but to figure it out. Like I had no choice but to just, find different ways. Like I did so much research just on how bigger guys move. And, in college, I did a lot of just studying on how movements with bigger guys, where to find my shot, like in certain areas of where, I might be able to beat a bigger guy off this dribble with my speed to where he's a little off balance to where I'm able to get a shot off. It might be awkward to some people. Like when some people see me shoot a crazy shot, they might think it's a bad, crazy shot in their opinion, but they have no idea how many times I've practiced or emulated that shot in my head as well as on the court. Just because the more I'm used to shooting when guys aren't expecting me to shoot, that's really dangerous. So, I mean, that's something I did in college. Like I would literally get with my strength coach and we had 6'7", 6'8" guys. I would study how they moved. I would watch film on how they moved because when I was playing, that's who would guard me, bigger guys. Right. So I was kind of preparing myself for when I got to the next level to see guys who were, I know certain guys might be biting on me to shoot a three, but at the same time, if I get past them, their size might be able to block the shot. So if I'm able to kind of get comfortable shooting off balance or shooting when they're like, oh, he's no way he's going to shoot that shot, that's easier for me to get a shot off. So, I mean, that's stuff I would just kind of put in my head, and you kind of have to be a student of the game, and it's very unorthodox. I describe my game as unorthodox, but it just works for me because at my size, I had no choice but to figure out something different.
Man, that's big time to me. I don't think a lot of people have that discipline to even. So, who put you onto that? Was it just something that you were like, I need to study bigger guys, or? Like what made you be like
honestly trying to get them buckets?
Yeah, no, honestly, like
chasing that average, you get real creative.
I'm blessed, bro, because I mean, my dad has been a strength and conditioning coach for 30 plus years, and then my older brother Desmond has been a basketball trainer, a professional trainer for about 10 plus. So I mean, for one, those two are just always thinking outside the box, and just my dad has always, taught with me. Just movements, how important movements are at different sizes. But then my older brother Desmond, he's just there's no way I can explain it to you. The dude's insane with his workouts, like just how he thinks on the fly, just like how attention to detail oriented he is, and just how he thinks so uniquely to where it makes me like think way deeper than, oh, you're just gonna come down, do a dribble hezzy and do a pull up. He makes me think way deeper than that. He make like so a combination of those two, just their minds and how they work in terms of how we as basketball players, my brother and I both play, like that kind of got my mind going into, no, I need to kind of do some more digging about how I can be more successful with what I'm doing at my size. Because my brother Jordan and I, we're like twins. Like me and him look the same, we play the same. So I mean, we both like have gotten in the mindset of just thinking out of the ordinary with how we work out. Like our workouts, like I know you guys have seen a little bit of them, but like if you could actually just be in the gym with us and kind of get a sense of how we work and how it flows, like it wouldn't surprise you by the stuff we do on the court, just how it might be, unorthodox or not normal, like just because of how much we work at it. Like we do some of the just most awkward type of things that are just normal to us just based on our size that we've had to learn.
That's the key. That's the key, Goods. We gotta have us a son who's gonna be a nice trainer, be a solid player, be a nice, and then have two little jits after that, huh? That's
for sure.
You getting into my pockets talking about them kids. I'm cool.
doing it with your family, bro. Like there's nothing better than that. Like nobody knows my game better than my pops and my brother. Yeah. So I mean, like just the fact that they know that much about my game and just how they're so, just in tune with what I'm doing and how I move. Like it's. I'm blessed, man. Like there's no better situation to have as a professional basketball player than that. So I'm not where I'm at without Desmond, Jordan, and my pops just pushing me every day. Like those guys are the reason I'm at where I've done what I've done. I can't just say it's not.
Nah,
that's dope. Yo, so with Denver, what do you think in your 2 years in Denver? Where do you think your game has grown?
Honestly, I think it's grown a lot on the court, but off the court too, it's got me in the mindset of just how much of a business this is. I saw a lot of, there was favoritism, of course, in the NBA. There's definitely a lot of instances where I thought, I had opportunities to play. I thought I played well, but it's just the name of the game, man. It's the business of it, and I just saw it as, I'm a very personable guy. Like I love to build relationships. I love to, really be immersed in somewhere I'm at. Like where my feet are planted, I'm always trying to grow and just, make the most of it around the people I'm around. But it's just different, man. Like college, I felt like it was a brotherhood. In the NBA, man, it's a lot of you just by yourself. You're alone. So, I mean, honestly, just kind of get myself like my mindset was really like hardened in those 2 years. Like I felt like I really kind of got away from, just, it was really just about business. And I think for me as a basketball player, that's a great mindset for me to have going forward. Cause like it's no nonsense now. Cause I like, you think you could be doing all the things right, all the things you're supposed to be doing. And you think, you might get rewarded for that, or you might, get an opportunity for that. And even when you do have an opportunity and you do well, that, something might come from it. But like they don't care. Like they really don't care. Especially a guy that, is the way I look, I don't look the part. So they have no problem just throwing you to the side. And so for me, like, I think for my career, like that was something that I really needed, because in college, I really had to earn it. Like I had to earn everything. Same thing in the NBA, but being in college for 4 years, you don't get comfortable, but you understand where you are in your position on a team. In the NBA, man, you never know. And you're almost like you're walking on tippy toes, man. So honestly, for me, like just having that mindset every day, like I could be gone. Like that's good. It's good. Like you don't get a diamond without putting pressure to a coal. So I mean, like for me, like that was always for me good. And I think going into this next, season of my life and this next, journey in my career, it's only going to serve me right. So as messed up as it could be, 2 years I was in Denver and not really getting an opportunity, like I think of it as a blessing just because, it definitely hardened my mindset to where, nothing's really going to faze me.
Mike Malone got a lot of questions to answer for playing Compazzo like that too, and then that's the thing. No disrespect.
All right, man. I love Fox.
No, he can play.
For sure. It's
He
just
can play.
I just think the NBA, man, it's such a long season. You kind of have to go with trends. Like it's never going to be constant. I mean, only thing that's really going to be constant, especially with a team like Denver, was our starting five was pretty constant. I think, but like once you get to the bench, and it really just depends on who's playing well at the time. And for
Yeah.
me to even get a shot, like a lot of guys had to get hurt.
Yeah.
A lot of guys had to get hurt. You never want somebody to get hurt, but it's just an opportunity I got just because guys got hurt. But when I did play well, I mean, I played well for a couple games, and then like it would just be like it might as well have been like I didn't play at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's one of those things, man, and you gotta grow up a little bit. Like me, I would be frustrated, but at the same time, I have to understand, man. It's just how it is. It really is. It's a dog eat dog world in the NBA, man. You can either let it hurt you or you can help you. And I would always try to just make the situation better by any opportunity I had to get in the gym, whether it was workouts, playing 3-on-3, lifting, anything, man. I just try to just attack it because you never know when that time's gonna come. Like my first year, I didn't think I was even gonna play at all once the season was over. But boom, right before you know it, play Portland in the first round. I'm playing in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's just you just never know. So you just always had to be ready, always.
I think you are ahead of your time with the mindset,
Trying,
with your
bro.
mindset and what you're realizing at a young age. So I was actually just talking about this the other day. We were talking about how long do you stay in a two-way situation or undrafted situation before go to EuroLeague or
Yep.
whatever it is, Euro Cup, EuroLeague. So what was it where it was like, instead of trying to get another two-way, I'm gonna go get this money with Baskonia and play at the highest level overseas?
2 years. That's what I would say. 2 years,
Yeah.
and because honestly, like I could have taken a two-way with a lot of teams now, and I could
Mm-hmm.
have maybe had more chances to play, maybe. But at the end of the day, man, it's like I'm not going through what I went through in Denver because no, I ain't doing that again. Because honestly,
Right.
I have a family. Like it's not just me. So I'm gonna be sure. Like personally, I'm a guy. I want to earn my keep. Like I want to feel like I earn what I get. Um.
Right.
So honestly, for me, it was just I felt I did a lot, and I think around the league, people know what I can do, and I personally thought I deserved a contract, whether it was in Denver or somewhere else. Um. But like people like to forget, like they forget. So I mean, they're on to the next new thing, someone with
Right.
potential rather than someone that actually produces, which I
Mm-hmm.
never understood. But I mean, that's just the name of the game right now. So for me, I didn't want to take another year to where I'm wasting the best years of my career or the early years of my career, sitting, still working, still getting better, but like I need to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like people need to see me play. That's when I'm at my best when I'm playing. So personally, like I could have taken another two-way, but it wouldn't be smart for my career. It wouldn't be because I need to be out there playing. People need to see me play. So I mean, for one, I mean, Baskonia was real attractive because they reached out to me saying, they wanted me, and as a player, you want to be wanted for sure. You want to be
Yeah.
needed. You want to feel
Facts.
wanted. So for me, that was very intriguing, and they came in, with a belief in how I play and felt it would fit their system, and as a player, how could you not hop on that? That's something every player wants. So for me, it's
100%.
in the EuroLeague. Outside the NBA, the EuroLeague's the best league in the world. In my opinion, there are a lot of EuroLeague teams better than NBA teams. Just calling it how it is. In my opinion, there are a lot of
Yeah.
really good EuroLeague teams. So I want to play really good competitive basketball for a great team that has a chance to win something. And I think our team has a chance to do a lot of great things this year. So I'm just excited for sure.
Yeah, I think Baskonia is historically has been kind of like the spot where guys have like springboarded, what I mean, for whatever reason. And not to say that it's like a low level springboard team, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just not a lot of distractions out there or for whatever it is, but cats go over
Yeah,
there and like blow up, man. Like, Shane, Wade Baldwin had a great year last season. I mean, there's just been a number of guys that have like really changed their careers. It was almost like Baskonia was like the pivot, you know what I'm saying? for a lot of different players historically, man. So,
yeah, I mean, I view it as, you know, a lot of people. I've heard that a lot too, but like, you know, I'm honestly in the mindset of just taking the task at hand, just going down there and just doing what I can to help the team win. I just want to win, man. At the end of the day, like, I want to win. I want to be a part of somewhere where I can be a part of winning, and whatever happens after that, you know, happens. But you know, my mindset is really just going in and giving everything I can to Baskonia. I mean, they're giving me an opportunity, man. I'm so grateful for it, and you know, to be able to travel, you know, take my family, you know, for us to be able to have this experience playing high level basketball, and you know, kind of get back to who I was, you know, in those 2 years in Denver. You know, it's tough to really kind of think, you know, am I still that same guy? I don't know, just because I didn't really play. You know, I had instances of when I played and I showed it, but you know, you want to have that opportunity to really play and, you know, do what you know you can do. Like, personally, like, I'm ready to just get back to who I was in college. You know, because honestly, that was someone I would take every day and twice on Sunday. So I think this is an opportunity where I can get back to that. And so I'm excited, and you know, it's gonna be really good for me, I feel like.
Yo, what did you hear or know about EuroLeague prior to signing with Baskonia? Because I mean, you got a lot of international guys on that team over in
Denver.
Denver.
Yeah, that was the international team of the NBA. That's for sure. We had some I couldn't count how many languages that people were speaking in that locker room, man. I couldn't count. But no, there were some great guys, you know, from overseas in Denver that, you know, I still talk to and have a lot of love for. But I mean, just what I've heard from EuroLeague and seen and everything, you know, it's such high level basketball. You know, just playing against Mike James when he was with Brooklyn. You know, being a fan of Shane Larkin since his days in Miami, and you know, keeping up with guys like that throughout their careers. I mean, those are two guys that, you know, I really look up to as players, and you know, I look forward to competing against them and, you know, seeing where I measure up and everything. But you know, there's so many great teams, and just even talking with Facu with his time in Real Madrid, and you know, the high level basketball that's played there, and you know, just the fan involvement, how great the fans are, and just the excitement around the entire league. You know, I've heard nothing but great things about the EuroLeague, and I hold it in a real high esteem. You know, just with all the great players that are in that league still, NBA players. You know, so I mean, honestly, man, the NBA is so cutthroat and it's a very tough business to be in, but the EuroLeague, man, right up there with it. You know, it's high level basketball 24/7. You know, and I think going there is only going to make me a better player, and that's what I'm excited about. You know, because the NBA, 82 games, let's be real, there are nights more than enough that guys just be taking off. EuroLeague, it ain't like that. You got guys every night just going for blood, and you know, I think that as a player, that's what I thrive on. So, yeah.
I was about to ask, since we got a EuroLeague vet on the other end over there, Jordan Taylor. Like, speaking to the young fella, like, as somebody that, you know, got into EuroLeague and obviously had to man the ball so much, what's something that you would tell him is like, was kind of like the wake up call for you once you got to EuroLeague, you know, having the ball in your hand so much and things of that nature?
Man, I think I would just say don't waste no time. Like, from game one, you got to go, and I think now, especially the way EuroLeague is, I think you're going to fit in perfectly, because I think you got to go and try and stand out. Because one thing, it's a fine line you got to play. You can't do too much. If you do too much, then they're going to blame you for some bullshit. But if you don't do enough, they're going to blame you for not doing enough. But I think for you, you're going to just have to find that balance of, you know, playing your game, but also appeasing to, you know, I don't know who the coach at Baskonia is right now, but appeasing to the coach. So, you know, appeasing to the coach, appeasing to your teammates, because they want you to fit in with their culture. You're coming to their culture. So you got to find that balance both on and off the floor. And I guess that's a long-winded answer. So the one thing I would say just to take from that is to communicate, overly communicate. Sure. Overly communicate with your teammates, overly communicate with your coaches, and try and really ingratiate yourself into their culture. And they'll respect you. That's going to make them respect you more than what you do on the court initially.
Definitely.
So, and then it'll make it, obviously it'll make it easier for you to do your thing on the court and all that. But
appreciate that.
I mean, the way the EuroLeague is going, I think your game fits perfectly. I mean, you're going to be that. I mean, Ant is probably more of a EuroLeague aficionado than I am, but he, I think your game, you're going to be of that Shane Larkin mold, or could be. So yeah, just go over there and communicate and do that. But that being said, how have your goals? What are your goals? What are your goals now going to EuroLeague? What are your big picture goals now going into Baskonia?
I mean, obviously, I want to win, man. I want to win, of course, the Spanish league, but also, I mean, do what we can to be contending, to win EuroLeague. And I know that's a big task. That's something that, is being said. It sounds nice, but I truly mean it. I'm not going there to waste no time. Like as Dame said in the bubble, like I'm not going there to waste time. I'm going there to really just, make a statement. Like I'm going there to prove a lot of people wrong. Not even prove a lot of people wrong. I'm going there to prove myself right. I've worked extremely hard to get to this point. I've had a lot of people work with me, being in my corner to help me get to this point. So I want to prove myself right, and I really felt with what I was able to do in college and then my pro career to this point, I felt they didn't coincide together. Like I felt with what I was able to do in college, I was supposed to, have a lot more professionally done by this point. So, being able to go to Baskonia, to be playing in the EuroLeague, like I want to make a statement. Like I really just am going there, doing whatever I need, whatever I got to do to help our team. To show everybody out there, to show the world really what I can do. Because I think, a lot of people either still have questions or they still just don't know. So I'm going really just to wake everybody up.
As an individual, does that look like you want to be back in the league in 2 years? Do you want to be making, $1 million playing in FS, playing for a EuroLeague title? And I know that'll change, but what does that look like right now?
Honestly, man, I don't want to look too far into it, man. I just want to focus on the task at hand. I've been so future-oriented, most of my career. And honestly, it's been nothing but cause stress. So, I mean, for me, I'm just excited, first and foremost, to get married. Like, I'm getting married in 11 days. I'm just excited to, start this new chapter in my life. But at the same time, when I get, to Baskonia, just take each and every day as itself. Really just focus on growing as a basketball player. That's my focus, man. And if that takes us, all the way to EuroLeague title, that's great. And for the next year, I have a 2-year deal. So, I mean, my focus right now is to be back there. If something changes, it does. But I'm not going in there saying, I'm only going to be for. I have no idea. Wherever God wants me to be, that's where I'm gonna be. So as of right now, He wants me to be in Baskonia. So that's where I'm gonna be, and I'm just excited to take it head on. So a lot of things could change, in a year or two, but right now I'm just super excited to get there.
Well, one thing I'll say, whatever you was doing in your spare time in Denver, you probably ain't gonna be able to do that in Spain. It's gonna be
not in Victoria.
It ain't gonna be boring out there, boy.
Bro, I'm just be chilling.
Yeah. But I think you got it right though. Be present, man. Be present, because I know find restaurants, find little things you could do. Just be present. I think you got the right mindset.
I'm gonna find a restaurant. I'm gonna be collecting wine. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna be trying to expand my palate a little bit.
If you get 2 days off, man, go to Malaga and just sit on the beach, man, refresh, and then come back. You know what I'm saying? You definitely gotta protect your mind too overseas. So that's especially in Victoria. But I guess that what do you anticipate being the hardest transition of going overseas?
Personally, I think just I think for sure, basketball overseas is different than basketball here. So just understanding the different nuances of the game. And I think that's like what you talked about, just being able to communicate with my teammates and coaches, like just understanding trends of the game, how momentum in the game kind of goes. So I think honestly trying to understand that will be a little bit of a transition. I've had some familiarity with playing overseas in high school and a little bit in college, but I think actually being immersed in, playing that style of play I think for me, just figuring out where to pick my spots in that type of play style is going to be, I think my biggest, point of emphasis when that, and I think just understanding the way of life. I think when you're understanding kind of how life is out there, kind of important. So just trying to navigate, trying to get comfortable, acclimated, will make it a lot easier for when I'm on the court.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. We gonna have a little fun with it now. We talked a lot about your story, so we're gonna have a little fun with it. We got a culture question from Ant real quick, a culture segment from Ant real quick.
Love it.
So, I think, in the basketball culture, I think, basketball and music has gone hand in hand. And I recently stumbled upon Warriors rookie Travion Williams, dropped an R&B song recently. James Wiseman, also on the Warriors, he's rapping and producing, I think. So, like, as far as your experience and what how would you rate this generation of NBA like hoopers and musicians versus like older generations that you may have known about in regards to the music they putting out?
I don't know, man. I feel like everybody, I feel it's been like this always. I feel like rappers want to be basketball players and basketball players want to be rappers. Which
you look like Drake too, so yeah, you over here.
No, my brother's Drake. That's my brother. Oh man, my brother just like Drake. From the time he was in high school, everybody was like, "That's Drake." Nah, but I think right now it's like the way rap is right now. Everyone, the trends and the sounds of how rap is. That's how everybody is. I personally like old school rap, like when Shaquille O'Neal, Dennis Scott, like those guys were rapping, like that's the type of rap I like old school type of stuff. But I mean, there's some good, definitely guys that play that can rap too. Like, I mean, obviously Dame, like in my opinion, Dame is up there. Like no one really can touch Dame.
Outside of Dame, who the best rapper in the league?
And if you say Miles Bridges, we cut this podcast off.
Bone Highlands can go, like for sure.
Kenny?
Like Bones can rap. Marvin Bagley can rap. Like I've known Marvin since. Man, we were little. Like me and Marvin's from Arizona. I'm from Arizona, so like growing up with Marvin, and Marvin's always loved music, and like just the fact that Marvin still's rapping now and he's really good. Like Marv can for sure rap too. Monte Morris can rap. Like my time in Denver, like Monte was like my big bro. So like I would always go to the studio. I would go to the studio with Monte, and he would lay down some tracks and. He definitely has some bangers for sure. Trying to think who else do I know really that kind of raps. Man. Miles Bridges can rap.
Yeah.
He can rap. This guy.
He can though. He can. He can.
Miles can rap for sure. Lonzo Ball can rap too. Like Lonzo's really good. Yeah, I mean, there's some real good ones, man. It's just the trends and how rap is going now is so much different than back in the day. But
I think it's interesting because like back in the day, you had superstars trying to rap. Like you had Shaq, Kobe, AI, Rasheed Wallace. Like you had the superstars of the league trying to rap. When the NBA wasn't okay with them hopping on, a record and cursing and whatnot. Like, you know what I mean? But they was really out there trying to get it.
Man, Shaq really has some stuff, though. I love, like, all the stuff Shaq came out with. I was like, man, this still goes. Like, it bumps.
Hey, that biological, that shit used to bang back in the day, man. I had that CD. I lost it, and I was sad for like a week. I was like, that shit was cold.
For sure.
Hey, and Miles Bridges, I have a theory, man. I'm somewhat of a conspiracy theorist. I think Miles Bridges was set up by the NBA. I think that man, the way he was rapping on his tracks, I said, hey man, we done been through this. We not going through this again. We gotta get him up out of here.
Oh man,
we gotta do something about this. Hey, he was wild. Hey, Miles Bridges is wild.
He was content-wise. He was wild.
He was wild. He was a max player, but he's not no more. Like man.
Man.
Damn. They done did all the dress code stuff for AI. They done clean the league up, did what they had to do, man. For Miles Bridges to mess up all David Stern's work, R.I.P.
Man, I wonder why there aren't more like R&B singing like hoopers out there. Like I know Oladipo, and then obviously Travion Williams he's put some stuff out. Oladipo can sing. I wonder why more of them don't take that leap.
If I had to choose, man, I would be more of an R&B type too. Like I don't know, rapping I don't really know, man. It don't work too much for light skins.
Yeah, I feel like R&B might almost be. I'd be an R&B head too. If I
you'd be like a Bryson Tiller type. You'd be like Bryson.
Yeah. I'd have.
Oh.
No. He more like Jason Derulo. He more like Jason Derulo. He went to Wisconsin.
Oh,
yo, hey, Marcus, you want to
he be TikTok dancing and whatnot. That's him. That's him.
Hey, but let me tell you one thing. I still have all your hoes.
Hey, you would. And I pass them over willingly.
Hey, Mark, you want to know what's crazy though? The motherfuckers that talk the most shit are the ones that went to Stanford and Duke, and they talk about Wisconsin like they not the same blueprint. Like y'all the same blueprint. Stanford is Wisconsin of the West, and Duke is the Stanford of the East.
I'm saying, man,
wow.
you're not lying.
First of all,
Madison.
Hey.
First of all, we're not about to get into this Wisconsin discussion.
Same demographic. Y'all got the same demographic of
You
folks,
could just look at our team. You could just look at our team, bro. Our team is way blacker than yours.
Robin and Brooke Lopez ain't black.
They half black. They daddy my color.
Like,
they daddy my color.
I shouldn't say it like that. They black, but you know what I'm saying. Like you acting like they.
Hey, I'm like just
me.
saying.
They me.
I'm saying y'all had you and Trey. And that was
we had 7 black guys on a 16-man roster. I counted just so I could bring it up in a discussion like this.
I'm prepared.
So I could use.
Man, I got my spark notes ready.
Y'all not about to keep disrespecting the Wisconsin Badgers on this podcast.
Man, hey, I'm 1-0 versus Marquette too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good in here. You know what I mean? That was my ticket to the Sweet 16. So. You know what I mean? I'm all right on this podcast. I'm all right over here. I'm comfortable.
Who got more league cats between Marquette and Stanford? Marquette for sure.
Right now?
For sure.
No, over there since 2000.
Since 2000? Probably Stanford.
Yeah.
We counted them out. Hold on. Don't make me go to Google. Don't make me go to. I won this argument many a time.
Who got more pros though?
Pros?
Probably.
Pros.
I don't know though.
I don't know.
Marquette.
That's a good question.
Marquette, because you could go deep. Marquette, you talking about DJO, you talking about Jarrell McNeil, you talking about Dom James. Like Marquette got a lot of them.
Bikes.
A lot of them. Bikes. Man, Marquette.
When you talking heavy hitters though, bye. Y'all ain't.
For sure. Y'all got heavy hitters. But if we talking since 2000, the amount of NBA players that have gotten drafted, Jordan, why you set him up like this? Don't set him up like this. We had this discussion. Don't set him up like this. We've been putting guys out since 2000. Huh?
The role player. I'm just playing my role. I'm asking the questions. You know what I'm saying? I'm asking the right questions.
See, now you want to get PT.
I'm trying to figure it out, man. I'm trying to figure it out. Hey, but real quick too, I wanted to ask because we got off topic a little bit. Being on a two-way for 2 years, what's your thoughts on the two-way deals? Are they a constructive thing for most guys coming into the league? I think you were a little bit of an exception and someone who would take that.
Yeah.
But do you think they're a good thing for most guys?
I think they're good, but it all is situational. Like I was 2 years on a two-way, and I only went down to the G for 2 games, and it was because I got hurt, and I was on a minute restriction. I asked to go down just to play. They wouldn't send me down. Like they didn't want to. Like they would tell me, "We don't see you as a two-way player. Our team's just stacked." Which,
especially at guard.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I think they're good. It just all depends on if the team really has a vision for you. Like if the team really views you as someone we can develop into being, like in my opinion, I feel two ways of this. If you get signed to a two-way, they're gonna develop you. Like they see you as potentially being a roster guy. They're gonna develop you until they feel ready. So for me, if I was a two-way for 2 years and I've gotten better, which I did, I would think that third year they would come with a roster spot. If I was doing what I was supposed to do. Now, if a two-way isn't doing what they're supposed to do, and it's just not working out, then that's when they go in a different direction. For me, there was really no reason for them not to give me either a roster spot or an opportunity. Because every time I was given an opportunity, and it was all random. It was at random times, like no indications at all that I would even get a shot.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely played very well. You can look at all the times I was in Milwaukee, played for 60-something seconds, scored 9 points. I played an actual game against San Antonio, 21 points. LA, our last game of the season, 25. Like a lot of time, even last year when I played the last 5 games of the season, I averaged 18 points in about 15 minutes of play. So I mean, it's not like you throw me out there and it's like, oh, flip the coin, we don't know what he's going to do. No, that's not the case. I feel if you're given a two-way and the opportunities that you're given, you show that. I think they're pushing you into a roster spot. That's firmly what I believe. Otherwise, they're just doing a two-way just to appease the league. So I honestly think it's good, but it has to be situated if a team really has a vision for that play.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But real quick too, who you gonna be R&B wise, Ant?
Giveon, toxic.
Why y'all both say Giveon
toxic?
Like that?
Toxic. You know, I wear white beaters. I've been working on my shoulders. I've been working on my shoulders.
I knew that before he said it.
Yeah, he was on.
I knew that before he said it.
Man. I don't even think you could see. You gonna be like you ain't gonna be a Bismarck. Man, that's what you gonna be.
Oh,
watch out. Yeah, watch out. R.I.P. again, man. You gonna do paycheck, rain check?
Nah. Real quick before we get into paycheck, rain check, man. So it was funny, man, when we posted that you were going to Baskonia. Austin Rivers hopped into the comments. And he said, like, sadly, this is what the NBA is now. You get penalized for having too much in your bag. Only 1 to 3 guys per team are allowed to have that. Everybody else has to be a specialist. And he said, I understand it. I do. I get it because that's what I am now and have to be. But it's frustrating at times to see guys like Marcus get penalized for it. He's league, and there's no doubt about it. I've seen this guy cook everyone in practice and games at one point or another. Now,
is that exactly what he said?
That's exactly what he said. I just read it word for word.
And time out.
Hey, that's a Reader's Digest type of comment. Like my man.
I was about to say.
Hey, he was on point with that.
I was about to say. Did he DM
hard.
this, or this was in the comments?
I was in the comments. He was responding to somebody.
Well scripted comment. Hey, Austin did go to Duke. That is right. So yeah,
Man, look, see.
Hey, that was a spark noted.
That's love though.
Yeah, for real. No, Austin, man. Like since I was, in junior high, like I looked up to a guy like Austin, man. And to be on the same team with him, like for the 2 years I was, like nah, he's always gonna be big, bro. Like he was the amount of advice and game he just spit to me, basketball wise and just life wise, man. Like. There aren't many guys better than Austin. I know there's a lot, like his career, man. He's had a great career. I'm just fortunate that a guy like that, who I've gotten to know really, really well. I think so highly of Austin. I think vice versa. He's just a good dude, man. Great player. So I'm just, that's my guy for sure. Like he's as good as a.
Yeah. So like, do you agree that like, when you got too much in your bag, like you have to become a specialist, and you got to kind of alter your game in regards to trying to stick these days in the league?
Yeah, man, it's tough, especially when we're in the superstar era of the league, man. And it's, there's guys that that take up a majority of what the team's makeup is. For me, I definitely felt like I could have worked in Denver, what I was able to. I felt I played very well with our core guys. Cola, where I'm a guy that can spread the floor. I mean, I do a lot of things off the dribble, but in terms of spot shoot, like my freshman year in college, I shot 55% three. So that's something I'm comfortable with doing. Um, so I'm in total agreement with that. I think a lot of guys that can do a lot of things, uh, they kind of put to the side just because it doesn't necessarily. It's a shame that that's how it is, but that's just how he is right now. And, you have to really stick to specialize in one or two things, and you know, it's all situational.
How you see it, Jordan?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Repeat the question one more time because I was still distracted about how long that comment was.
Now, he was saying that only 1 to 3 guys per team are allowed to pretty much have everything in their bag and be able to showcase it, and then you have to kind of become, if you're not one of those 1 to 3 guys per team, you have to become like a specialist.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's spot on, and honestly, I think if that's not the makeup of the team, it's a bad team. Like if you got 5 guys, 6 guys, kind of doing, getting in their bag or doing whatever. It's the Orlando Magic where they're trying to find that 1 to 3 guys that can be be it. So they'll just have a bunch of guys out there kind of doing whatever, and they're just kind of a dog shit ass team. No disrespect to Orlando. But yeah. So I mean, I think that's spot on. I think it's somewhat unfortunate. I think that's part of basketball. Like I think that is kind of like when you have roles, there's always gonna be 1 to 3 guys who are kind of the guys on the team. So I think it's normal. But I would say that because the way the game is with the 3-point shot, now a lot of other guys are just shooters or just rebounders as opposed to being a shooter and a rebound. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So yeah, it's unfortunate. The game has become, I think, diluted in that sense to a degree, where and honestly, I love some of my favorite players now are guys I play nothing like Marcus, like yourself, like D'Angelo Russell, like the Jamal Crawfords of the world. But I think that's like the 4th spot on the team, right? Where it's like, all right, we need the 6th man to come in here and just be a bucket off the bench, or 4th or 5th spot. So I always root for those guys. But if there are 150 guys like that, there's really only 30 spots for those guys, if that. So it's a very competitive type niche in the NBA.
Yeah, and I think too. Like from a management standpoint, it's like, okay, let's say you need a shooter. So you got somebody like a Markus Howard who got a lot in his bag, and he's a shooter, and then you got somebody else who could be just strictly a shooter. It's like, who do you take? And I think they're thinking like, okay, well, if Marcus pays out, then we'll get more than just the shooter, even though it may kind of be a disservice to Marcus's career. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of where, like, as we talked about earlier, it's just the business of basketball, where guys like yourself end up getting into a bad situation where, okay, we're not bringing you to get into your bag, we're bringing you in here to stand in the corner and raise about the corner and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's a tricky game, man, and that's why, like, roles and situations and roles on the team and your situation with the team, I mean, it really does dictate the path that your career is going to go down in the short term.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also it hurts guys. Like I get to work out with Tyus Jones every day, and he actually has a very similar background to you, where his brother trains him, and then he's got Trey as well, and his mom is very, very ingratiated into basketball, so they have a great family. But even guys like that, I feel like there's never going to be anything wrong to me with just having 5 guys who can play basketball on the court. You don't need someone necessarily who's a 45% 3-point shooter. You don't need someone, what I'm saying? If you got 5 guys that can play together and they can all do a little bit of everything, they're going to win games. And I feel like that has got lost a little bit and roles will just naturally and organically kind of get flushed out in that scenario. But I feel like that has got lost a little bit in the NBA and hurts guys like yourself. So.
bad. My mic was on mute.
Oh no, you good.
I didn't know if it was me. I didn't want to interrupt.
Nah. All right, moving on to paycheck, rain check. Somebody's paycheck is taking a rain check, and it might not be the case just yet, but we're going to dive into this KD versus the Brooklyn Nets situation. Obviously, he met with the owner, and rumor has it that he suggested either they trade him or fire the GM and the coach. So now, I mean, the question has become, and we spoke about it on this podcast, do players have too much power? And will owners try to take the power back in the new CBA when that comes around in 2024? Marcus, what's your thoughts on that in regards to players and their power?
I definitely do. I think I do have a lot of power. I mean, it's something that makes the league so great. You know, giving players, of course, giving them a say. But at the same time, I think, like you work for the organization, coaches, and I think there's definitely a fine line between there can be cooperation, collaboration. I think players are definitely having a lot of time. So it definitely puts ownership in a tough situation to have to that's honestly not a situation you want to be in with the team. So yeah, I think the times have definitely changed. Like a lot of things, a lot of power.
I think that I think we've talked about this before on here, but I think when someone I think players have every right to try and control as much as they want to. I think that when I don't know that players have the complete understanding of when someone like KD does what he's doing now. I don't know that he really takes into consideration, not saying he should, I don't know if he takes into consideration the fallout of everybody else in the Nets organization and just the fallout in the league. And maybe he does. Like if he goes to Phoenix, a guy like Mikal Bridges, what happens to his career? He goes back to Brooklyn. He might never play for NBA Finals again. You know what I'm saying? Because Mikal Bridges probably just doesn't have that. Obviously doesn't have the staying power of KD to bring a team there. So, and again, that's part of the business. It's like Marcus said earlier. It's a dog eat dog world. So it's going to happen regardless, whether owners control things or whether players control things. But that is one thing that I do hate about it with the players kind of doing that is the entire fallout that you see especially when they preach the brotherhood side of it. But I mean, at the same time, it is what it is. Owners are definitely going to take control back. They're going to do something. They have to because there's only so much you can give up. But it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope that we're not headed towards another lockout. I mean, I doubt it. From a revenue standpoint, I don't think the NBA after COVID, wants to deal with, losing games. But I think the owners are definitely going to have to try and, maintain some type of control heading into the new CBA and especially in regards to these contracts and everything else. But, yeah, I just hope it really doesn't get to that. But yo, Marcus, I wanted to ask you real quick, man, because I'm out here in Serbia and, like Jokic got like an energy drink out here. I mean, they find any kind of way to put like Jokic anywhere in Serbia. Like he is more or less the president out here. What is he like in practice, off the court, that type of thing? Like what makes him special? In your eyes, what were like some of your first impressions and things like that?
He is the most he's the easy superstar. I mean, in terms of just like, he does not need much. Like, he is so just easy to be around, and he's a joy to be around. Like he's just a funny, goofy dude. But when he speaks, listen, like he commands. His presence demands. But at the same time, man, I forget how young he is. Like he's in like not even like in his late 20s, like 26, 27. Just his basketball IQ, his skill. Like people talk all the time about how he's not like like he's a good athlete. Like I've seen him work. And just go for the game, like things he possesses in his ball. Like he's the most skilled basketball player. Like, not even close. Like, the things he's able to do, multiple things. Like, his vision, his tough passing ability. Uh, he's an underrated defender. Like, um, and he knows how to win. He just knows how to he can control a game. If he wanted to, he could score 50 points every night easily. If he wanted to. But the thing is, like he's a 2-time MVP of the league, but like his focus, his basketball, like, you know, when guys like truly love and care about the game to where like it almost consumes them. Like, he's not that type of guy. Like, he really is about like his family, about home. Like basketball, I feel like is like something he just does. Like, it's almost like he flows with it. It's not something I feel it's not something he really even thinks that much about outside. Like, he plays the game, then goes home. Like that's just the type of dude he is. The most like late like ever. Like, it's crazy. Like, he won MVP twice, and it's just like
Man.
like he really like is not like consumed by it at all or affected by it. Which honestly, for me, like, just being an outsider looking at it, like unbelievable.
Man, I think one of the things too is the athlete thing. You see, like, his touch, that is athletic. His touch with the ball is insane. Like, and he's obviously not a runner, he's not a jumper, but the way he controls, like, that's hand-eye coordination. That's all that. So
he's one of the most disrespected MVPs of all time. With like some of the numbers he's put up in the past few years, like, I think people forget about that. Like, all he's done in the past 2 years, like, just seeing it every day, you almost get numb to it. But then when you think about it, like, I was really witnessing great. Like, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people just look at his body and they look at, oh, he's not dunking the ball like a certain way and things like that, and then they kind of just, they kind of write him off or don't really put as much weight on the numbers that he's putting up. But I mean, when you look at like you said, like, just the overall skill, the touch, just how he handles the rock at his size, shoots it. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
He's disgusting, man. Like, he's
his feet,
footwork, touch, all the above, man. Like, he's just, oh man, he's unbelievable. Point blank.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like, where he comes from, they put out more NBA players than Marquette since 2000. So, like, since 2000, Marquette has put out like 8 NBA players, which is cute. 8 NBA players is cute. It's really nice. It's up there with Wisconsin, I think. You know what I mean? But like, when you start talking about like the better programs in the world, you know what I mean? Like Stanford, who's put out 15. Like Stanford, who's put out 15, who's drafted 15 NBA players since 2000.
Who's the 8 Marquette guys?
The 8 Marquette guys.
Who's the 8 Marquette guys?
Y'all talk about all these draft picks. If you're talking really about the product of a school, think about legacy. What legacy has Stanford really put in the NBA?
Hey man, we've added bodies. We've added employees to the NBA. That's the legacy.
Stanford's
That's the legacy. Hold on. Hey, give me 15 seconds to name off these 8 players, okay? We got Henry Ellison.
Let me stop you before you let me stop you before you name off these players. I want to talk about that segue. That man compared a whole country to Marquette just so he can get his segue in.
Literally.
Hey, I've been sitting on this for like 20 minutes. I'm about
to say, that man is sociopath for that.
Hey, Petty Tony over here.
Man, I see. All right, get you. Who's the 8?
We got Henry Ellison, Jay Crowder, Darius Johnson Odom, Jimmy Butler, Lazar Hayward, Steve Novak, Travis Diener, very nice, and Dwayne Wade.
Travis Diener is that man.
Those were the 3 since 2000. Oh, those were the 8 since 2000.
Wesley Matthews.
Oh, it didn't have Wes on there. No, this is real GM.
Those are only draft picks, so you gotta get. Those are only draft picks. Marcus Howard. Marcus Howard is 10.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think Dom James might have been in, or Jarrell McNeil might have been.
Jarrell got called up, I think. I think Jarrell got called up because he was in the D League when I was in.
Mike was in the league.
Dwight Bikes.
I think that
Bikes
he was
in
a
the
call
league.
up for sure.
Yeah,
this is just the
Dwight was in the league. Dwight
this is the drafted. This is the
Dwight
drafted list.
Toronto.
Excuse me, sirs. This is the drafted.
Yeah, so we can't
listen to the drafted list.
Yep, Petty Tony over there. No, because it's
I'm gonna
not
be honest.
Everybody in the
Outside
league.
of Brooke and Robin Lopez, who else from Stanford are you really talking about? Dwight Powell, I'll put in there too. But like,
Okay, Dwight Powell. We got Zaire.
Tyrell Terry.
Man, he's good.
Tyrell
Come
Terry.
on, bro. He just got like.
We're just talking about drafted. We're just talking about getting there. You as anybody should know, it takes a lot to get there.
Hey,
that's 4.
You see what he really wanted to say. He said, "Man, he's trash," but he called.
We got 15. I can run down the list since 2000, but
Tyrell Terry count as 2 because he's from Minneapolis.
First of all, that's probably why he's not there now, because he's from Minneapolis. If he was from anywhere else, he probably would have stuck. That's probably why he's not there now.
Damn. Hey, Twin Cities Pro-Am semifinals and championship this week, Tuesday, Thursday. I'm saying, so tell Swish.
We always show love. We always show love, man. But go on, close this out.
Y'all definitely do.
This man really prepared the whole country.
Hey man, Marcus, we had a good.
Go ahead. You really did that.
That was OD. That was OD.
No, I was saying his team alone. Mega puts out.
And tried to make it seem like that was normal. Like
you tried to say
comparison. Like that was smooth though. I'll give you that.
Bro.
That was a nice segue. That was a nice segue, man. But listen, Marcus, we appreciate you coming on, man. Anybody listening to Role Player Podcast available on EuroHoops.net, also Spotify, YouTube, and of course Switch Cultures as well. And again, Marcus, we appreciate you joining us. Good luck in Baskonia this year. Come back and join us again, man. Stay in touch with us. And I know you're going to be on Swish, so everybody tap in. Hit that like or hit that follow button below on the Switch Cultures YouTube page, man. We'll see y'all next time.
Yes, sir.